Hey guys, welcome back to Three Turbo Gamers. This is episode 34 here with Colin.
Hey guys.
All right, we have one topic from last week I carried over, and then the rest are fresh. So let's go ahead and jump into E3 is officially canceled and no longer an event.
That's right. You better use my topics. Uh, it was confirmed by IGN, and two sources had told them about the whole entire fiasco and the cancellation. So they got a thing via email that got sent out to its members, and it said that E3, while it remains a beloved event and brand, that 2023 version simply did not garner the sustained interest necessary to execute it in a way that would showcase the size and strength and the impact of our industry. So, in saying that, they basically was just like, oh no, we don't got enough hype behind us anymore, so we're done.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before. It's been basically coming ever since, the pandemic broke loose, the other companies realized, hey, we can have our own events and not have to go somewhere and spend money to set up, different events and things at that event. I mean, if they do it in-house, stream it on YouTube, it's a whole lot cheaper than going to an actual place, setting up big statues and gaming, stations and everything everywhere for different events and different games, different tournaments and stuff. So it's just easier for the companies, and they realized this once the pandemic hit. E3, it's definitely an end of an era because I will miss it. I loved watching the E3 events with all three companies, but Sony hasn't been there even in a few years before the pandemic. They've done their own thing. Only Xbox and Nintendo stayed doing it, and then since the pandemic, like I said, they've just done their own thing. So
Yeah, E3 was basically just PlayStation. I mean, not necessarily even PlayStation, like you said, the past few years before the pandemic, even. But originally, whenever it was a big old thing, it was domain free was all there at one time. It was PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo. So,
yeah,
like I said, one already shagged away a little bit before the other two did, and like you said, with the pandemic happening and everything else, they were just like, why do all this? Why pay workers? Why do this? Why do that? Whenever we can literally just do it on our own platform, on our own time, and we don't got to be told when to do it.
right, exactly. It's cheaper, and I mean, I don't know any company that's not about saving money. So
And it's usually how they get bigger. Save money where
yep,
you can,
exactly. So
and
I
everything
will
else
miss
falls
it.
into.
A lot of good things, a lot of big things announced at E3 in the past several years.
Oh yeah, but I mean, mainly what people went for was to test run games and stuff before they got released to do the demos that they pretty much had that were still
Right,
in
like Breath of
development.
the Wild in
Hmm
2016 was there. So yeah. All
So yeah,
right.
like
Good.
what G3 was been coming out after Tears of the Kingdom released this time anyways, so it's just
Right.
one of those things where we wouldn't have got it in the first place. But pretty much as soon as Breath of the Wild came out and they had the first trailer in 2019, we would have been able to play it then, like per se, if you went there.
Yeah. Yeah. Just the wrong timing, but it's not going to happen anyway. So,
That's right.
all right. Moving on. The final Tears of the Kingdom trailer released yesterday, day before yesterday. One of those, but either way,
It was yesterday.
yesterday.
At the time this
What's
is
your,
recording, the time you guys see it, it'll
yep,
be a few
few
days.
days. Anyway, what is your opinion on that trailer?
Sexy.
That's what you
That's, that's,
texted me.
that's all I'm saying. No, it was, I mean, obviously entertaining. It's still just trying to figure out where everything's taking place on the thing chronologically, gameplay wise. It's showed a construct and a choo choo fighting.
Yeah, it
That
sounds
was
pretty cool.
because I know you can get enemies to fight in Breath of the Wild, but you pretty much have to get them to like provoke each other and everything else. And this one just
Right.
seemed
They
like it
don't
was.
do it by themselves.
Yeah, this one
Yeah,
just
it was
seemed like
pretty
it was
funny.
an unprovoked attack. Uh, then you've seen a construct doing like I said before with the Bokoblins, how you can see like them mining and stuff. So it seems like the enemies are more aware of what's going on and growing like personal traits opposed to just being there to fight. It seems like they actually serve a purpose
Their
since
IQs are higher, like survival
yeah,
rate, like trying to survive, get materials.
that's necessarily a thing where Ganondorf is back and completely taking over since he finally got officially revealed in the trailer. So
Yeah.
we know that Ganondorf will be a main part of the story. Uh, and it looks like with Link's arm this time, because you can see the arm where Zelda is dropping. So my prediction is he's going to be like a Venom type of character at some point in the game, like compared to Spider-Man. Like how in Spider-Man 3 and Venom took over Spider-Man for a little bit type situation. I think Link is going to go throughout like little trial, like a personal self-discovery before he's able to succeed in what he's doing. That's going to be my
So
prediction based on the trailer.
you think the malice will take over his mindset a little bit to where he'll have to reevaluate himself and his mission?
Even if it don't necessarily take over his mind space, it's still obviously able to control his arm and it's his dominant arm because it is on the left arm. Because we all know, except for what Skyward Sword, that he was left-handed in every single game except for Skyward Sword or Twilight Princess, depends which version you
Which
had.
version? Yeah. Is he not right-handed in Breath of the Wild as well?
Mm-mm, he's
You
left-handed.
sure?
Yeah,
You
because
sure?
it's not motion controlled; it's buttons. Yeah.
I know that, but I thought they left it right-handed.
Mm-mm. I don't believe so.
Either way, definitely his dominant arm to whichever one he holds the sword with, because you can see the sword in his hand when the malice goes up his arm.
Hmm. So regardless, I'm either half right or half wrong, but still the same concept applies no matter which hand
Yeah,
he is.
right.
But yeah, I mean, it was a nice addition. Everything went through. Zelda got her hair cut,
Yeah, she
which
did.
I think that happens like almost towards the end of the game, opposed
Yeah,
to, like I said, I think that whole entire, not even going to say like even beginning of the game, I'm going to say like maybe quarter, half through third is when you'll start getting that breakdown of why she's falling. And like I said, I think Link's the cause of her falling. It's just not showed in the trailer all the way
you think he's the
because of the mouth.
cause of the falling because of the malice?
Because yes, that's why I said it's like a Venom like situation.
It's interesting. I haven't heard anybody say that yet.
Here to first on Free Terrible Gamers.
Yeah, you heard it here first. If that's the case, Colin predicts it.
That's right. I beat Zoltic this time.
That's right. He doesn't have his analysis video out for the trailer yet, does he?
I don't believe so. Not at least from the time I've seen it from the recording.
'Cause I've been looking for it and I haven't seen a post.
He usually does it pretty quick.
Yeah, it don't take long.
Him or Nintendo Crisis.
Yeah.
So
Well,
what's your
one, well, I'll just say what. All right, so this trailer is what Nintendo needed for this game because I mean, even before the gameplay, people were saying, "Oh, this is just a reboot of Breath of the Wild." They were, that's all they were saying. Oh, it's just more of the same. This game, this trailer proved that this game is way different than Breath of the Wild. It has a whole different take on the story, and it's way bigger, and the story's way deeper than Breath of the Wild was.
Oh yeah,
Breath of the Wild, they were more focused on showing you the open world, what the world can do, what you can interact with in the world. Tears of the Kingdom will take that and go to another level with being able to craft things and different things as well. But the story, you can tell this one is more story driven than Breath of the Wild instead of just go, here's a world, go explore it. You'll be able to explore that world while also getting into a deep story.
yeah,
So
because they gave you the
this
world and
trailer,
then you to dive into the story because also I didn't mention it, but you see the characters that you interacted with on the Breath of the Wild because you got Sidon back, you got the
mhm,
new princess, queen, whatever it is of the Gerudo.
yep.
She's back in it.
Yeah, it's really cool to see those characters that you talked to and interacted with in Breath of the Wild come back and try to help you fight along your side.
So I think,
Um,
like I said, that people play a big part in it now. Is okay. I, I need you as just part of the quest to get to the beast. You know, in Breath of the Wild, the divine beast. You just talk to those people to get to where you was going. I mean, complete it. There wasn't that much story backlog to it, other than they was close to whoever lost to the Blight Ganons.
right.
Well, in this case, it was like they're actively trying to help you instead of just setting you up to go face where they're top. Mainly, it seemed like more sibling related than because Mifa was Sidon's sister. I think that Queen
Hmm.
Gerudo, it was one of her not champions, one of her. I'm not even going to say sister. I mean, it's a Gerudo, so it has to be a sibling. You know, where it
Related
sends her.
somehow.
So, like I said, they're driving the story base deeper. They gave you the map that you're going to be on, but they added more to it with the sky, and then you get more character development out of this game.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we get to see a lot of the story just in this trailer while also leaving a lot of most of it a mystery, just enough to keep us and really get us engaged until the game comes out. Really get us wondering until the game comes out and we can find out for ourselves. But we get to see a lot of the story mechanics and we get to see those new rockets. We hadn't seen those before in the trailer, I don't believe. A little bit of anti-gravity I noticed there, a little bit. And we see the first hydrated look of Ganondorf because in the other trailer he was just coming back to life. His corpse was pretty dried out, so you get to see what he looks like. And what I got out of it, he looks kind of like a mix between Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess with a little bit of Wind Waker, and the Wind Waker just from the more cartoony graphics,
I was just say like how
cell
colorful he
shaded.
was, like Wind Waker.
Yeah, yeah, and he looks good. And then that first shot before you seen his face, I got he looked like Demise to me with his hair like that.
Yeah, like when he was turned away.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I thought too initially. Which I know I had mentioned it before on this too. It was possible that the Miles would be part of this game, depending on how far how I'm not going to like how far in the future this timeline actually took because from every analyst from Breath of the Wild, if they was compared to the Zelda Encyclopedia, is they think Breath of the Wild was like 10,000 years after the most recent event,
yeah,
which, like I said, Ganondorf being in there makes sense because Link was asleep for 100 years on the first game, or well, the first Breath of the Wild. So obviously, we know every 100 years as a Zelda fan, that means Ganondorf's going to be born,
right.
or at least rise to the top. I'm not necessarily going to say born because in Zelda time he would be at least I was saying he would be middle aged.
Yeah, they live longer than we do.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, he looked a lot like Demise. I don't know if that was, I mean, I'm sure that was on purpose, but I don't know if he'll be part of the game or if that's just what. Because the first look at Ganondorf we've seen, he was dried up. He looked. I mean, he was just now coming back to life. But then we see the
Caves.
picture of Demise. Look, it looks like Demise, and then you see Ganondorf himself, and that's undoubtedly Ganondorf. That's not Demise. We've seen at the end. So my theory on it is Demise is there, but it's his spirit that is coming back into Ganondorf, and that's how Ganondorf is revived. So it's not that Demise will make a physical appearance like he did in Skyward Sword, but it's more his spirit going into Ganondorf as he's becoming alive again,
So
if
basically
that
the
makes any
same
sense.
concept. Any time Ganon or Ganondorf's around, anyways, is he's an embodiment of them. But you're talking about a direct spirit.
Right. Yeah, it's basically the exact same thing that always happens, but we can physically see it happening instead of just hearing about it happening.
I got a little brain twister for you to see how you think this one's going to play out. So every single Legend of Zelda game, he always wakes up, minus the first one. He's always brought up out of the sleep. Do you think he'll
Mhm.
wake up at the beginning of Tears of the Kingdom?
Probably. He'll probably be in his bed there in what is it?
Kakariko?
What's the Hatino, where we built the house there.
Okay.
That he'll probably wake up there, I would assume, because we did build
So I
that
think
house,
this
and
kid
it was
will wake up.
theorized that what is it?
So you think he will be awake, woke up
What did you say?
from the that village?
I think so because it was theorized that that was originally Link's house, and then he built it back. And I mean, it's yours once you build it back. So I think, yeah, he'll wake up there. If not there, then he'll wake up somewhere because that's just how the other games do.
Yeah, I'll somewhat agree, but I want to say that since this is already a continuation, unless they're going to say that he was pretty much exhausted from being in Calamity, that he just decided to rest. But like I said, I just don't see a plot point where it makes sense for him to be sleeping if he was already doing that, other than, like I said, being wore down from being in Calamity.
So how do you think they're just going to like throw you on a horse, or are you just going to throw you in the middle of the world, or how are they going to do it?
Don't
Or
ask me
just
these questions.
start you off right
Don't ask me
away
these
with
questions
telling
that
you the
destroys what I'm
story?
trying to say right now.
Do you think they're just going to throw you into the middle of the story, like what's happening, and then play them from there?
I mean, if they really wanted to throw people off, that would be a good idea, but it's already too late to do that if they haven't.
Yeah. Which I don't know. It could work either way. They could just tell you the story, like what's happened after Breath of the Wild, and then it leads you up to where you're at now, where they're exploring the cave underground, underneath Hyrule Castle, and they find Ganondorf. And then they go from there, or you wake up wherever, Hateno Village or wherever, and then you walk outside, and then something happens, and then you get thrown into the story. You go explore under Hyrule Castle, whatever. They could do it either way.
Yeah. But that would definitely, like I said, other than the first one, every single every time he's been woken up out of some sleep, some way, shape, or form. Even the one like Link's Awakening, one that's technically not even tied in with it, he was even woke up after a shipwreck. So it's
Yeah,
hard to tell. But like I said, they've been sticking with the same formula for basically 35 years at this point,
right.
counting
And then,
sequels.
I mean, even in Breath of the Wild, you woke up from the Shrine of Resurrection, so.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess we'll find out in just under a month.
Yeah, I'm really excited, especially after this trailer. I'm really excited to get it and start playing it and find out some of the story. So I get a lot of Skyward Sword vibes from it because it seems like after, especially after this last trailer, that Link will be doing his thing, and then wherever Zelda is, because at the end she says, "Link, you must find me," or whatever she says. So that
It
tells me
looked like she
she's
was in
when
the
she.
sky when that happened. It was like she was up there.
Well, I didn't know if she's in the sky, which she could be. but or if she's like in some kind of other parallel dimension or something when she falls down. I don't know. But either way, Skyward Sword, that's how it was. Link was up there doing his thing, and Zelda was on the surface doing her thing. So it might be kind of the same thing. And maybe we'll get playable Zelda, maybe we won't. If we did, how would you feel about a playable Zelda?
Well, you're talking to somebody that's played Hyrule Warriors, so it's not really too far of a stretch, especially since, I mean, that game's not technically canon, but it can be considered canon with depending on what mission you're doing. But it's, you know, it would be cool in a sense to even, if it is like the final boss where she usually helps out in some way, shape, or form, because other than giving you the Bow of Light and Breath of the Wild, she technically didn't help anything. She didn't do like a how she helps in Wind Waker, like how she physically helps. So
She was tired
like
from keeping them in check for 100 years.
that's no excuse. But no, and like I said, like if it was like a Wind Waker situation, since he gave off like design looks of Wind Waker, if he was able to like take over for her while Link's over battle, and you could shoot the light arrows at Ganondorf while he's doing that. But then again, at the same time, it would be too closely related to how the Wind Waker ended.
Yeah, so a lot of people online, what they're saying it'd be really exciting to be able to play as Zelda in a mainline Zelda game. But me, my opinion, I don't think I would like that too much. It would be cool, but just I don't know. Staying on tradition. I'm a guy of tradition. A Zelda game, you play as Link, and that's how I like to play. I
No, you
mean,
don't. You
I
play
wouldn't hate
Zelda.
it. Oh
That's what
yeah,
most people
it depends who
think.
you ask.
Yeah, that's right.
Just I don't know. I mean, it'd be cool. I wouldn't hate it, but I'd just rather play as Link. That's how a Zelda game's supposed to be played, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's the whole purpose of it. It's the legend of her, not, necessarily playing as her.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, regardless, it would be cool. It would be a nice little addition. I mean, recently they started doing voice acting for characters, so now you got Zelda voice actor, and then you got Ganondorf's voice
Yeah.
actor, and whoever the king is in this game, which is still kind of weird because the old man was the king of Hyrule and Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. The all the voice acting setting up. I mean, you might as well just go ahead and start scripting up a movie using the same voice actors.
Yeah, but we'll see if that actually happens or not.
I doubt it, but it should. But yeah, overall, great trailer. Really, really gets you excited. It reminds me a lot of the final 2017 trailer for Breath of the Wild. Just like behind it, just made Breath of the Wild completely go off charts, the hype behind it, and people ready to pick it up. And this is what this trailer did for this game.
Yeah, I agree. And trust me, you don't want to do that whole entire movie thing just because I already mentioned Spider-Man with it. So they're going to bring old Tom Holland as Link.
No, they don't. They need to blackball him from the whole entire movie. He's not allowed to be in more movies ever. As the main character, he can play his little, roles here and there, but not as the main character. He's not that guy.
You knew I had to make that connection since I mentioned Spider-Man, like even though he wasn't the Spider-Man that turned into Venom, but it don't make a difference.
Mm. All right. Are you finished with Tears of the Kingdom?
Uh, I think so. Finally, after 20 minutes.
Yeah. Excited, but moving on. The Super Mario Brothers movie sets records at the box office.
I think they broke two records from the time I done my research. It was the box office biggest worldwide opening weekend for an animated film and biggest domestic debut for a film based on video games. I couldn't figure out if the domestic was Japan or us since it was Illumination, but obviously Mario started out in Japan and not the United States. So I couldn't quite see which one it meant. I'm assuming it meant United States as domestic.
I think so because the one I have says U.S. record. So,
Okay, I didn't see that on the website I looked at.
so yeah, like you said, for opening for animated picture at 377 million is a world record. 5-day US record, 204 million, and then it soars up to all for just the Sunday box office 20 million. So it set a few records, and the critics they were saying what was it 54% tomato score, Rotten Tomato
I
score,
think it's pretty low,
and
but
then
still,
the user was like what 9.8 out of 10 or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
I mean, I
definitely
think
different.
we definitely see that with video game type movies, though. Because I think Sonic had a relatively low Rotten Tomato at first too.
And I love both of those Sonic movies, so I really want to watch the Mario movie, but maybe watch it next weekend.
I probably won't watch it till it comes on Peacock, just because I know it's going to come to Peacock first because it's Illumination.
Illumination. Yep. Yep.
So that's probably when I'll watch
And
it in about 4 months from now.
yeah, I think well, they said it could be there as soon as 49 days or up to however many
If
months.
it's doing that well in the box office, they're going to keep it in theaters until it don't do good anymore. I say at this point it'll
Yeah.
be the 49 days if they keep on doing stuff like they're
Oh yeah.
doing.
Oh yeah.
Because
I would
usually you
say.
don't go that quick as if it's blank. But those don't
Yeah.
theaters.
Yeah. Being what it
I really
is, I don't see it bombing.
for Bay 3 whenever you can still make money off of it.
Yeah. Right. Get one more in here. Xbox Games Showcase and Starfield Direct will be on June 11th, 2023.
From 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific time. So from 1 to 3 over here in the eastern part of the United States, uh,
Yep.
12 to 2 in the central time zone, and the mountain time zone would be from 1 to 3. Yes, no, no, yes.
It'd
I
be
may have
11
butchered
to
that.
1.
Yeah, 11 to 1.
Or
There
no,
it is.
11 to 2. I mean,
Okay. That's
all
3
that
hours.
time junk.
Yeah, whatever. Pacific time, we'll go with the
1,
original
whatever.
thing.
11 to 1. 11 to
So Tom
whatever.
Warren, which was the guy, tweeted out the time breakdowns for it. He said it'll be 90 minutes for the Xbox related. So pretty much the games and stuff that's going to be coming out on Xbox. I'm assuming Game Pass and all the other fun stuff. And then
Yeah.
it'll be 30 minutes separate just for the Starlight Direct. So 2 hours total runtime, as mentioned before, no matter how bad we are at math. But last time I checked, this is a gaming podcast and not a math podcast. So
Right. We
I
could
don't care.
start one then.
So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
still, that just seems like a open world space game from what I'm getting from it. Probably not something
Oh
I'll
yeah.
play, but probably definitely watch it just for this podcast reason.
I'll definitely pick it up eventually. It's kind of like a Halo Destiny type thing, kind of,
Wasn't
related,
really a
I
fan
guess.
of the
Uh,
two,
something
but
definitely, something definitely Carter would be interested in. But
yeah,
um, this is basically Xbox's Tears of the Kingdom this year. Redfall was another big game of theirs, but from what I've seen, it's having some issues. So everybody's looking at Starfield, and I think it will deliver. Obviously, it won't hit the same hype as Tears of the Kingdom because after that trailer, I don't think anybody's going to be talking about Starfield or Spider-Man 2 from Sony anytime soon. They're all focused on Tears of the Kingdom to come out. That's definitely the big game this year, and I definitely look for Tears of the Kingdom to get Game of the Year and at the Game Awards later this year.
yeah, because the only people will be paying attention to Spider-Man and Starlight upon their releases are people that either own just strictly PlayStations or strictly Xboxes.
Yep. And almost everybody that statistically, because there's millions of Switches out there, everybody that owns, say, an Xbox or a PlayStation also owns a Switch of some type, probably will pick up Tears of the Kingdom. So,
That's right. I was really hoping to get to the PS Plus games for April, just saying that way I could wait. I could say what I wanted to say about old PlayStation, but I guess we'll wait.
I mean, go ahead if you want.
You're the host.
Go ahead. PS Plus games for April.
Doom Eternal, Wolfenstein 2, and Riders Republic joining premium PlayStation service. With Doom Eternal coming to PlayStation Plus, I believe that is Microsoft's middle finger to PlayStation saying, hey, we really need to act to do that because guess who owns Doom Eternal technically? Bethesda is owned by Microsoft. So, like I said,
Yep.
I think that is their middle finger to PlayStation, being like, "Hey, we're letting you have this game, so we're showing the world that we are willing to give you these games. So, quit being little whiny babies."
Like, here, Sony, here's your shooter. That's what we'll let you have.
That's right. You get Doom Eternal, not Call of Duty, Doom Eternal, but you
Like,
will
we won't
let
give
you
you
have.
Call of Duty if you don't sign our deal, but you can have Doom.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think that is their middle finger to PlayStation right now. Like, look what we're giving you right now. Quit being such high-ends to us.
Yeah, if I was Microsoft, that's what I'd do. If Sony don't want to sign that deal, I'd be like, okay, you're not getting Call of Duty. We'll give you Doom.
That's right. Which I mean,
That's
that's
what
a
they
good
would.
game, regardless. But
Oh yeah, it's
still,
not that it's a bad game. It's just it's older. It's not Call of Duty.
that's not really older. It came out, I think, last year or the year because Doom 16 came out, and that's the predecessor to it.
Well, they
So
also gave them on the classic side, PlayStation's adding Doom 1, 2, 3, and 64 as well.
yeah. So like I said, in the greater scheme of things, it's Xbox's, well, Microsoft's way of being like, why are you still being high-ends to us? We are giving you one of our games that is well rated, and you're like I said, that's pretty much. I think Microsoft soaking up the whole entire people they need to impress to be like, hey, where would we giving them a game that's what do we didn't have to? So you really
Right.
think we're going to take duty away from a platform that's used to it?
Why would Microsoft take Call of Duty away from PlayStation if a lot of people on PlayStation play Call of Duty, they will buy that game and make Microsoft money.
Exactly. Like I said, that's why I
Sony,
think as soon as I seen Doom Eternal on there, I'm just like, that is a middle finger. I was like, I don't care who you are. That's exactly what they're doing. They're flipping off PlayStation right now. Like, we are showing the world what we're capable of, and we are going to get Call of Duty.
Sony deserves it. They they've always acted like that towards any company. I mean, they ripped off Nintendo a long time ago, so Sony deserves what comes to them, in my
Right.
opinion.
And you guys are welcome for me skipping down like three more topics just to prove his point.
Right. But while we're on topic, I'll go ahead and finish it out. There's a few games leaving the PS Plus service, and one's NBA 2K Playgrounds 2 and a couple others. But the big one is Marvel Spider-Man is leaving the service, which is a Sony exclusive. But technically, Sony does not own the rights to Spider-Man games. They own the rights to the movies. So Marvel can say, get that off your platform. Get that off your subscription service. But I don't think that's the case. I think they're just going to remove Marvel Spider-Man, the original, and just replace it with the remastered version. But
Yeah, that's a fair thing to definitely think and say on that one.
because Spider-Man has appeared on the Switch, I can't remember the game. There is a Marvel exclusive for the Switch that Spider-Man is on, and there's another one on the Xbox. So it's not just Spider-Man's only allowed on Sony because they own the rights to everything. They just own the rights to movies, and then in return, Marvel's like, well, we'll let you have one exclusive game on your console. So, and then their Spider-Man 2 will come out later this year.
Yep.
So,
But yeah,
just an update for you
Microsoft
guys.
is off Sony right now for the month
As
of
they should,
April.
as they should, as they should. All right, guys, that is all the time we have. Thanks for listening. Make sure to follow us on Twitch, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, buy our merch, follow me on Twitch, subscribe to us on YouTube, subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Kick if you'd rather watch your gaming streaming over there instead of Twitch nowadays, because a lot of people are switching over to it. Go ahead. And now we are live on not only Twitch for our podcast, but YouTube as well. So if you subscribe to us on YouTube, you'll get that notification that we're live on there. If you don't have a Twitch account for some reason, because almost everybody does, go ahead and watch us on YouTube live. Colin, do you have anything?
I think you covered all the bases, minus where you get the merch from, which is in Redbubble.
Yep, always in our description. So at the very, very bottom of our description.
All right. I think that's it.
But
Later.
yep, I'll see you guys next week.